We are live without a net. Folks, there's no script, okay? There's no script. There's no telling what could happen during the Classic Guitar Rock daily update. And quite frankly, that's part of the excitement, okay? No script. I have no plan. I have a few things that I've stolen from the internet that I copy and paste notes, but there's no plan. Okay, there's flying by the seat of your pants, they call it. And by the way, you know how you know when you're old, when you're getting old, you start to enjoy eating a bowl of grape nuts. Once you start enjoying grape nuts, you know it's over. I'm just throwing it out there. And I like eating grape nuts. I can't lie to you. Also, the journalist in me, as a public safety issue, I need to let you know about this fact. And this is a fact. More people are killed each year by vending machines than by sharks. Okay. Yet there's no show on the Discovery Channel about vending machine week, right? What's that all about? Okay, we've got some Ace Frehley news, and it is pronounced Frehley. All of us grew up calling him Ace Frehley, but it's Ace Frehley. So if I fall back into calling him Frehley, just let it pass, okay? Ace Frehley has released the title track to his upcoming solo album, 10,000 Volts. The album will be released on the 23rd, but you can check out the track. And guys, I got to tell you, I'm an Ace fan, okay? Musically, I like it. I mean, it sounds good. But then it's Ace, right? Ace is he ain't no Bob Dylan, right? So the lyrics are, well, they're very Ace Frehley like, as would be expected. She hit me like 10,000 volts when I saw her face. She hit me like 10,000 volts. Feel like I was in space, right? So that's the level of stuff we're talking about. And frankly, that's what I need from Ace. Okay. I don't need him to be Bob Dylan, but it's a ripping track. And I'm looking forward to the album. This is his first album of original material since 2018 Spaceman. And then in 2020, he released his second covers collection, which was called Origins Volume 2. Ace says, quote, "It's probably the best record I've ever done. I'm very excited about it. It's the first time I ended up writing most of these songs with a good friend of mine, Steve Brown." We've mentioned this, right? Steve Brown was in Trickster. Steve Brown has been a part of multiple of these bands through Frontiers Music. He's a talented guy. And in fact, he has filled in for both Vivian Campbell and Phil Collen in Def Leppard for various reasons. I think at one point when Viv was getting treatment for his Hodgkin's disease, Steve Brown filled in. And then when Phil Collins, I think, wife was having a child, Steve Brown filled in. So he's a talented guy. He's working with Ace. I'm sure that will only make the project better. But this leadoff single, musically, I'm digging it. I like it. And just tell yourself this is Ace Frehley. So yeah, the lyrics, they're kind of junior high-ish, but I mean, isn't that what we want from Ace? I'm looking forward to it. Anton Fig is drumming on this new album, and Anton, of course, was on Ace's solo album that we talked about last week. Also, Ace, more Ace news. We got plenty of space for Ace. Former Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley firmly and formally ruled out the idea that he'll make a guest appearance at the band's final show this weekend. Okay, that's coming up. The last final show, at least with Gene and Paul, it happens this weekend, and they've invited Ace and Peter to come and be part of it. They've both said no. In a new interview on SiriusXM's Ozzy's Boneyard, host Mark Strigel asked Frehley if there was any chance at all that he might be seen alongside his former colleagues at Madison Square Garden on December 2nd. No, he replied firmly. He continued, quote, those guys use my name and Peter's name. This is how it's written, guys. Those guys used my name and Peter's name months ago. They said that they invited us to perform at that show. I never got a phone call. Peter never got a phone call. They just said that to sell tickets. And recently, Paul Stanley has made negative statements about me and Peter. For example, when people asked him, is Peter and Ace going to perform at the Garden? He said we would mar the show if we got up to play, which is really insulting, end quote. But he did say, remember Ace said that this album is going to make Paul Stanley look like an imbecile. So we're waiting for that part. But about his album, he says, I know Gene's going to really like it and tell the press he does like it. I have no idea what Paul Stanley's going to say. He usually holds back on any deep praise for me because he's jealous of me. But despite all this tension, Ace says he doesn't have any hard feelings. Quote, I wish Kiss the best, all the best on their final shows. We say things sometimes in the heat of passion or sometimes our memory fails us, but I love those guys. We're all getting old. Our memory isn't what it used to be. So I just let it roll off my back. He probably enjoys a bowl of grape nuts too. I mean, let's all be honest. Ann Wilson said Heart's first concerts in 4 years could lead to more, but only under certain circumstances. They haven't played together for a long time, and they are playing in Seattle, their hometown. I think that's on New Year's Eve. Let's see here. The band last performed in 2019 before Ann and sister Nancy went to work on solo projects. Soon after guitarist Nancy made a surprise guest appearance at one of singer Ann's shows, they confirmed 3 hard appearances next month. December 27th in Highland, California, December 28th in Palm Desert, California, and the 31st in their hometown of Seattle, Washington. In a recent interview with 96.1 KLPX, Ann discussed her touring schedule after she completes a road trip with her group Tripsetter. Quote, we have one more leg to do in December before we turn things over to Heart again. Asked if the 3 announced shows were the only ones planned, she said, quote, we don't know yet. We're going to see how it works with the Heart thing, whether it feels like a level up. If it does feel like a level up, then we'll keep doing it. But that's what it has to be. It can't just slide down into jukebox time. Okay, let's talk about it. And I love Heart. I love Heart. Ann Wilson, my favorite female vocalist. I love Heart. You listen to the early Heart album, they're great. Can't say enough about how much I love Heart. But I always laugh at these, grape nut eating artists that don't want to do jukebox time. What does that mean? They don't want to play their hit. They don't want to play the songs that people are paying to see them play. That's why people are coming to see you. No one's coming to see Heart to hear Ann's solo album from a year ago. No one cares about that. They want to hear you play the hits. That's why I appreciate bands like Kiss that they know what butters their bread, right? They know that people are coming to see the hits. And so artists that then speak disdainfully about fans that want to hear jukebox time cracks me up. I had a friend of mine that worked at a radio station in Arizona, and they had Gary Berghoff. Remember Gary Berghoff from MASH? He was Radar O'Reilly. So Gary Berghoff was going to be interviewed by the morning show at this radio station in Arizona, and they were told they weren't allowed to ask him any questions about MASH. Who the hell wants to hear anything from Gary Berghoff except about MASH? The dude hasn't done anything. That's ridiculous. Don't be that guy, okay? Heart, don't be that. Of course people want to hear. Of course it's going to be jukebox time. That's why they're coming to see you. They want to hear the hits. Speaking of hits, Zach Sabbath, the Black Sabbath tribute band featuring guitarist Zakk Wylde, bassist Robert Blasco Nicholson, and Joey Castillo on drums are releasing a double live album called Doomed Forever, Forever Doomed. 2 discs. One disc is called Doomed Forever. The other one's called Forever Doomed. It's going to be awesome. It's got all the hits. Nothing but Black Sabbath hits. That's what I'm talking about. Give me the Black Sabbath jukebox. War Pigs, Paranoid, Planet Caravan, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Hand of Doom, Rat Salad, Fairies Wear Boots, Sweet Leaf, After Forever, Embryo, Children of the Grave, Orchid, Lord of this World, Solitude, Into the Void. That is a jukebox right there. Sign me up. Super exciting. I've seen Zach, the Black Label Society, and to be honest, I wasn't a big fan, but I like Zach, and he's a cool dude. This Zach Sabbath stuff it's awesome, and he's singing it. He's playing it and singing it, and does a great job. This will be a fun album. Looking forward to it. Oh, speaking of albums, have I ever confessed my love of the Alan Parsons Project to you guys? I love Alan Parsons. Alan Parsons is just, he started as an engineer working at Abbey Road. So he's worked on Beatles albums. He was an engineer for Dark Side of the Moon. And what's funny is this is a unique situation. He doesn't play anything. I mean, he can, and he'll occasionally play piano and stuff. And if you go see him live, he's there. He's up there. He'll play keys or strum a guitar. He's a producer. And so this series of albums, that the first one was based on the writings of Edgar Allan Poe, which is a great album, by the way. It's a project. There are various members in and out throughout the whole thing. And Alan's kind of the producer of it. And it was named after him, which is kind of fascinating. What album is this? This is the album Pyramid, which may be my favorite Alan Parsons Project album. And this is an invitation. If you're a headbanger, if you're into soft rock, whatever, there's something everyone will like on an Alan Parsons album. It's pretty mellow for the most part. However, some of the tastiest, if you're a guitar picker, right? If you're a fan of guitar playing, some of the best guitar playing you'll ever hear is on Alan Parsons albums. Some of the best keyboard playing. That's the whole point. He handpicks different people in these albums. And of course, there's the Ian Wolfson stuff, the Eye in the Sky and the big hits. Time rolling like a river. There's that guy, but that's not the best stuff. And I like that stuff. But I just can't say enough about Alan Parsons Project. And this is a great album. Go to a used record store. You can find lots of Alan Parsons stuff, which makes me think maybe people bought it and didn't like it, or maybe they just pressed so many of these. There's just a lot of them available. But back in the day, if you go into the hi-fi stores or the car stereo stores, and they'd always have some Alan Parsons CDs or records that you could test out the gear on, because the sound is just so cool, and they've got these lot of stuff going on in the stereo space, and it's just everyone should have some Alan Parsons in their library. Okay, yeah, it's for my friends in Oklahoma. Library. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you, and we will do it all again tomorrow on the Classic Guitar Rock Daily Update. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.